Between 1899 and 1902, a war was fought between British forces and the forces of Dutch or Boer republics in the area that is now the nation of South Africa. Wars are notoriously expensive, and when a war is underway, governments are often creative about the methods they find to fund the conflict. In this case, a shipment of gold worth nearly £4,000, which works out to nearly $1 million Australian dollars in 2022, was being shipped by rail by the West Rand Gold Mining Company. It was intercepted by officials of the Boer South African Republic and was basically stolen to fund the war effort, although they were kind enough to leave a receipt. The war was won by British forces, and the South African Republic was absorbed into the British Empire. After the end of the war, the West Rand Gold Mining Company demanded that the new government, the British government, either return their gold or compensate them for its value. They claimed that when the British government conquered the South African territory, Britain became liable for the obligations of the Republic. The basis for this claim was allegedly a rule of international law, which they claimed was binding on Great Britain. The court then had to decide what the relationship was between international law and British national law. They found that international law is not a sovereign type of law, but rather international law is simply an agreement between sovereign nations. So international law is whatever the nations of the world agree that it is. The court said, whatever has received the common consent of civilized nations must have received the assent of our country, and to that which we have assented along with other nations in general may properly be called international law. Nowadays, of course, we no longer accept the outdated and quite racist notion that only certain nations are civilized, but it remains the case that international law does not rest on any independent or inherent type of sovereignty. Rather, it rests on the agreements made between independent and sovereign nations. In this case, the court decided that there was no principle of international law requiring a conquering nation to meet the obligations of the conquered government, and so the West Rand Gold Mining Company were not compensated for their loss.